Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, so the topic for this week is writing an annotated bibliography. So I will be explaining further on this annotated bibliography. Okay, so first, let's see the definition of it. Okay, so what is an annotated bibliography? Okay, an annotated bibliography gives an account of the research that has been done on a given topic. It provides a concise summary of each source and some assessment of its value or relevance. Meaning, based on a topic, okay, you read some articles, okay, and then you try to give or you try to write summary. Okay, you try to write summary. Of course, it's not just any summary. You try to write the summary of the articles that you have read, and also you try to give a critical evaluation on it. Okay, about it. Okay, meaning you also write, what you can actually see what the authors has written there in the articles. Okay, whether it's good or not, whether you agree or disagree. Okay, had a strong innocence of the author, what the author has written. Okay, gonna see more about that later. Okay, so an annotated bibliography may be one stage in a larger research project, or it may be an independent project standing on its own. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, basically, what we can say here is that annotated bibliography is like a short summary. Okay, and you are giving, your critical evaluation uh, based on what you have read, okay, from the what the authors have what has written. Okay, all right. Uh, an annotated bibliography must be a competently written paragraph that is free of plagiarism. Okay, of course, when you read articles, okay, you cannot just copy and paste everything. Okay, and just pick out the main ideas. Like, no, that's not how it is done. So it must be free of plagiarism. In other words, need to paraphrase. You need to paraphrase it. You need to select or identify the main ideas and then paraphrase it. Okay, and of course, make sure you check on your content and your grammar as well. Okay, annotated bibliography must be an eloquently written paragraph that contains a wide range of sentence structures and vocabulary. So when you write this annotated bibliography, okay, or this short summary, okay, so make sure you, you make sure you use wide range of sentences. Okay, when you paraphrase, of course, you're going to use, you know, uh, you're going to probably change, okay, some of the words, try to find synonyms, okay, try to rearrange it, okay, and not just copy and paste everything from the articles that you have read. Okay, that's why you need to understand it. Okay, in that way, then only you can actually comment critically on what you have read. Okay, all right, so please consider these four elements when you are writing an annotated bibliography. Right? Okay, so make sure um, you have the correct reference and in-text citations based on APA format. Okay, meaning when you write the annotated bibliography, okay, make sure you mention um, the name of the author, for example, the name of the author, and then you can mention the year of the publication, okay, based on APA format, right? You're gonna go through this later, okay, and then introduction. Of course, you need to have introduction. Okay, first of all, when you write the bibliography, the annotated bibliography, the summary, first of all, you need to have the introduction. And then, of course, you need to have the main ideas. You need to identify the main ideas from the articles and then you write in your annotated bibliography. Okay, and then this is uh, the important part, critical response based on the author's element. This is, this would be quite challenging because this would be your part, to write critically. There are many ways to write it. Later, you can see some examples later. Okay. So next, okay. So based on the four elements, let me elaborate a bit further. For the reference, okay. Um, Based on APA guidelines, basically it's just formatting. It's like sometimes we have APA, sometimes we have MLA, but most of the time we use APA format. And for APA format, you have to remember there are few editions. It's always being revised. Um, I think the latest one, I'm not sure, maybe 7th edition, APA 7th edition. So it's a format on how you write, um, how you include the name of the authors inside your writing. Now, when you write the bibliography or when you write anything like summary or you write for research, you have to follow a certain format, and usually we use APA format. Okay. For example, like you want to include citation of source, you want to include the author's detail and publication details. So author's details like the name of the author. Okay. So when in text citation, meaning when you are including the name of the author in the text, usually you put the name, the last name. Usually you mention the last name only. Okay. For example, the name, let's say Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Okay, let's say it's article written by Harry Potter. I'm just giving a simple example. So, when you have the name Harry Potter, you only take the last name. So you only take, or you call the family name. Okay, the last name Potter. Potter, according to Potter, and then you can mention and the year as well. Let's say according to Potter in bracket 2021. Okay. Um, there are many ways to lose your weight. Okay. So example. Okay, you can check more on this APA format. You can just search it online. Okay. And make sure you use the latest edition. Okay, on how to write reference or to write the in-text citation. Okay, make sure to include the correct in-text citation. All right. Sometimes you have many authors, then probably it's a bit different. If two authors, then it's not so much different. You can just put the name, the family, the last name. Okay. All right. Next, okay, introduction. So for introduction, you can consider these 2 points, okay, to be included in your introduction. First, you have overview or objective for the article. So when you write the annotated bibliography, and in the introduction, you can mention that this article written by, you can put the name of the author, deals with, and then you can have the, the main idea here, or what the topic is about. Okay, so or you can say the objective of the article is to inform readers or to persuade the general public to do what. Okay, so there will be some examples of how you started. Okay, and next, the types of article. Okay, you can mention. Okay, is the articles that you are referring to. Is it newspaper article, journal article, or magazine article? Okay, so you can mention this in the introduction. Next, of course, you try to identify the main ideas from the articles that you have read. In order to write the summary, in order to write the annotated bibliography, you need to identify the main ideas. How do you identify the main ideas? I think you have learned about it in the previous lessons, I think. Okay, so sometimes it can be, most of the time it's at the beginning of the paragraph, sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes in the last sentence of the paragraph. So it doesn't matter, but you should be able to identify the main ideas. And please do not just copy and paste it. Okay, you should paraphrase. Paraphrase all the main ideas extracted from the articles. Okay, so how do you paraphrase it? Basically, you try to write it in your own word. Of course, If it's hard, if it's difficult, then you can just extract it first, write it down exactly as it is, and then you try slowly to change probably the words or rearrange the words, you find the synonyms, as long as the meaning is the same. Okay, so you write it in your own sentence. All right, next is the challenging part. So you need to be able to critically evaluate this, articles that you have read. In order to write a good annotated bibliography, you need to be able to give critical response for it. Okay, so these are some of the elements that you can consider when you are writing critical response, okay, in annotated bibliography. First, target readership. So you can see, I think based on the topic, you can actually guess. You can already see, okay, whether this article is for general public or parents or college students, okay, or for a certain group of people. Let's say if the article is about COVID-19, and then how to recover fast from COVID-19, then you know that the target is for general public. Okay, if how to um, prepare for examinations, and it's for college students. It depends. Okay, so you can mention about this. You can see the target audience of the articles that you have read. Okay, and then next point. Okay, uh, author's use of other resources or in-text citation or currency of research. So what you can see next, or what you can comment, or what you can write for your critical response, whether sources used are current or below 10 years. Okay, so some articles that you have read probably is a topic that you're interested in, but the article is probably written like 10 years or 20 years ago. Then you have to see whether the issue mentioned by the authors is still relevant or not relevant. So most probably it's not relevant anymore because it's too long already. But sometimes when you have like theories, it can last for uh, a long time. But if you have like results of like questionnaires, sometimes it's always being every year many people are doing research, and you always get new results every time you do research. So we have to see whether the um, resources or the articles that you have read, whether it's still relevant or not. Okay, uh, and whether the sources used are current or not. Okay, next is organization of the article, whether it's logical or appropriate supporting resources. So from you have the main idea, right, and then you can see the supporting details, whether it's logical or appropriate, or it's not logical or it's not appropriate. So you can mention about that when you write your critical response. Okay, organization of the article. Okay, let's see next. What else can you mention, or what else can you consider when you uh, write writing your critical response? Reasoning. So from the author's what the authors have written, you can see whether it's objective or not. Okay, is it biased? Okay, you can see the supporting details. Okay, whether the author provides adequate or inadequate support. You can see something about it. Okay, about the reasoning, what the authors have mentioned inside the article. Okay, whether you think it's objective or you think it's biased. Okay, next, what you can see is the author's tone. Okay, as a matter, is it, for example, as a matter of fact? Okay, is it neutral, meaning not pointing at anyone's fault? Okay, or is it angry? It's like, I think when you read, you can see the tone, the author's tone. Okay, uh, and is it critical? Okay, is it really in depth? Is it optimistic? Okay, or serious, like serious issue, whether the authors elaborate it really well or not. Okay, so you can probably see all this kind of tone. Okay, identify the tone from the article. Okay, next one is what you can see for a critical response is the author's use of language. So, articles sometimes could use technical words. So when the author use technical words, it could be not reader friendly, meaning you as a reader, it's difficult for you to read and understand, and you can say something about that, okay, in your annotated bibliography on article. Okay, so whether technical or reader friendly, or um, is the language used clear, or is it not clear? It's ambiguous, like it's just, you just couldn't see, you know, um, the whether it's you just couldn't understand it. It's ambiguous, okay? Or is it free of jargon? Let's say if you are from language background and then you read an article from the medical field of study, and then probably there are certain words or certain terms that you might not understand, because only those in that field of study will understand. So that will affect your understanding as a reader. Okay, or you can comment critically on that. Okay. Next, what else can you see? You can see the usefulness of the article, whether it provides a new insight into the issue or does not provide any insight into the problem. Okay. Maybe there are new things mentioned by the author that was not mentioned by any other authors. Something new, something newly discovered information. Then you can see the use. You can mention something about the usefulness of the article. Okay, and then next is the strength of article. Okay, whether the author provides a variety of strong support, such as research findings, okay, experts' testimonies or expert opinions. So if the author just mentioned about his opinion without providing any data, then probably it's probably weak. Okay, if it has like a strong support, research findings, testimonies, or other expert opinions, then you can mention something about the strength of the articles, okay, written by this author. And of course, weakness or limitations of the articles. Usually there always be limitations of the article. You can mention the author provides only his personal opinion, does not provide external support, or maybe there's no research findings mentioned, no other experts' opinion in that. Okay. So you can mention if you find weakness or limitations in the article that you have read. Okay. So other appropriate responses are accepted, of course. So these are just some of the things or elements that you can consider or should consider when you are writing critical response in your annotated bibliography. Okay. Um, okay. Next, you can see this is example of annotated bibliography. Okay, you can see citation. Okay, meaning this is article, the title. Okay, this is the name of the author. Okay, for this M, meaning M stands for Mark. Okay, this is published 2014. The title is the elements of eloquence, secrets of the perfect turn of phrase. And then here is where you start the summary. Okay, what you can say about the author and what he has written in this article. Okay, so the author Mark Forces examines the rhetorical devices used in the English language, analyzing the patterns and formats that create memorable quotes. Okay, so you can see the main idea here: rhetorical devices used in the English language. Okay, and then you can say elaborate further on what the author has written. Okay? You can critically evaluate. Okay, I think you can understand more, you can understand better when you do the exercise given by Dr. Fazli. I think it'll be more clear after you do the exercise. Right? Okay, I think that's all for this topic. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for listening.